Hello and good morning to all. Welcome to your computer class. Well, today in this class we will do the revision of our first chapter, that was computer languages and hardware components. Well, for few coming days we are doing this revision work only. It means we will skip this binary number system chapter for a while, and then after doing this revision we will again continue with the binary multiplication, binary division. So till then you just have to revise all the questions which I have given you till now, and you have to do or listen these revision videos very carefully. Now let's start. Well, in this revision class I will discuss each and every topic or each and everything which I have taught you till now in this chapter. So now let's start with our first chapter, that is computer languages. Well, as I have taught you earlier that being a human we all speak in some languages, and these languages are generally easy to understand by us. Fine. Similarly, our computer also follows some procedures or some rules. And for all these procedures and these rules, they have their own set of instructions or they have their own set of words. Fine. So now these rules, instructions, symbols which are understood by our computer, these are termed as the language of computer. Fine. Or in other words, we can say that a computer language are the set of rules, symbols which are required to operate a computer or which are directly understood by our computer. Fine. Our computer languages are also termed as programming languages because by using these languages we can write the computer programs. Fine. Generally these languages are used to communicate with our computers or with our machines, and we can also use these languages to direct or to instruct our machines at what they have to do and how they have to do. Fine. Now the person who writes these programs or the person who uses these languages for writing the programs or for interacting with the computer is termed as a programmer. Fine, let's take an example. In class 6 you might have learned the basic programming language. That basic was a computer language which was only understandable for our computer system. Fine. It was a language through which you can instruct your computer or you can direct your computer to do a particular task. Fine. And while you write the programs in that language, you can be termed as a programmer, and the programs that you will write, it means the instructions that you will write, those instructions can be termed as programs. Fine. So it means programs are the instructions which are written by using these programming languages, and the person who write these programs are termed as programmers. Fine. While we are writing the programs in these languages, we have to follow some set of rules. So all the set of rules that we follow while writing a programming language, these are termed as the syntax rules. Now we have to discuss about the classification of all these programming languages. Our computer languages can be categorized into two categories, that is low level languages and high level languages. Well, the language of computer system or the language that can be directly understood by a computer is termed as low level language, whereas the language which can be understood by the human beings and which can be used for writing programs by modern programmers, these languages are termed as high level languages. Our low level languages are divided into two categories, these are machine languages and assembly languages. Whereas in high level languages we have various programming languages which can include C, C++, Java, Python and some other languages. Now our first term is low level language. The low level language is a programming language that provides no abstraction from the hardware, and it is represented in 0 or 1 form which our machines can directly understand. Fine. It means these low level languages are directly understood by our machines. The language that come under this category are machine language and assembly language. Fine. It means our low level languages has two categories, that is machine language and low assembly language. Then our first category is machine language or binary language. Well, machine language is a language in which instructions are given in the form of strings, zeros and ones. Fine. Here the 0 and 1 are two numbers which can be used for representing electric signals. Here the 0 stands for off and 1 stands for on signal. Fine. So whenever you are typing a bit as 0, it means there is no electric current, and whenever you are typing a bit as 1, then it means there is a presence of electricity. Fine. Now these machine language programs are understood by the computers without any translation, because here this 0 and 1 is representing the state of electric current and our computer is an electronic device. Fine. Now These codes are only understood by the computers, hence users or programmers cannot understand these codes easily. And if anyhow you will write any program in this language, then you cannot debug it or you cannot check errors in that program. It means debugging of these codes is an impossible task, or it will take a lot of time and efforts for that. Fine. Now let's take an example. Suppose I have written something over here with these binary numbers. Can you please tell me what I have written? Well, by just looking at these numbers, no one can guess or identify what we have written by using these bits. Fine. That's why these languages were so difficult to understand for us. Fine. Now, to making these machine languages a bit understandable for humans, some changes were made, and then we have this assembly language here. This assembly language is the language in which instructions are given in the form of some abbreviated words which are called as mnemonics. Fine. In this mnemonics, we have this M as silent. For example, the LD stands for loading a program. It means in mnemonics, if you will type LND, then it will load the program. If you will write MOV, it will move the data. If you will write ADD, it will add the data. If you will write SUB, it will subtract the data. It means in between the binary digits, we are using some words for representing the types of operations that we have to perform. And that's why these languages are a bit easier for understanding purpose, but इसमें एक छोटी सी प्रॉब्लम है. The problem is that because in these languages we are using some mnemonics, that's why these languages are not directly understood by the computer, and hence these languages need some translation program. Fine. Now for converting our assembly language programs into the computer understandable form, we use an assembler programmer. Well, for converting these assembly languages to the computer readable form, we use a translator program which is termed as assembler. Fine. Next we have high level languages. Well, these high level languages are generally the languages which are written by using some English like keywords or some mathematical symbol. Fine. Well, writing these programs is a very easy task for the user, for programmer, but for computer these programs are not easy to understand. Fine. Now some most commonly used high level languages are Basic, Fortran, Pascal, C, C++ and Java. Now let's talk about all the translation programs that we have through which we can translate our high level languages to the low level language form. Well, generally a translator program or a language processor is a type of program that will convert the human readable or human written codes into the machine readable or machine understandable form. Fine. Now the codes that we write being a human, these codes are termed as source code, and the codes that our computer can understand, these codes are termed as object codes. Fine. And for converting this source code into the object code, we have two programs that we can use. These are compiler and interpreter. Now the most important thing, the source code that we write generally, that source code is written in high level languages, and that object code which is generated after the translation, that is in the form of binary or in the low level language form. Now let's talk about assembler. Well, first we are discussing about assembler because assembler is also a type of translator. Fine. This assembler is generally used to convert the assembly language program into the machine form. Well, because in the assembly language program we have some special keywords like mnemonics, that's why these are used for converting the programs into the machine language form. Now let's talk about our next term, that is compiler. Well, students, this term compiler and interpreter is very important for you guys, so you have to be very specific about these terms. Well, a compiler converts a program or a source code written in a high level language into a machine language before execution. Fine. It means this compiler will convert the codes which are written by humans into the machine readable form. Fine. And it runs our program at one go. It means it will read your whole code at one, and then all the errors will be represented by the end of the execution. Fine. And when you will remove all the errors, only then your program will give you a proper output, and only then the proper object code will be generated. Fine. It means in this type of translator, first we have to compile the code, then after the compilation it will read your whole code at once, and then it will show you all the errors at the last, and after correcting all the errors only you will be able to see your output, or you will be able to generate a object program. Fine. Now let's talk about interpreter. Well, this interpreter is also similar to our compiler, but the only difference is that in compiler our program was read by compiler at one go, but in this interpreter our program is generally read line by line. Now let's read and understand. An interpreter is a language processor that works by reading and executing the source code of a high-level language program line by line. Fine. If there is an error in any line, it reports it at the same time and program execution cannot resume until the error is rectified. It means if in case there is any error, then your program will not run, but if you will remove that error, then your interpreter will read or execute the next line. Fine. Now suppose we have 10 lines in our programs, then interpreter will read all the lines one by one. First it will read the first line and check for all the errors. Then it will read the second line and check for all the errors. Then it will read the third line and it will check for all the errors. Fine. Similarly, in the same process, it will read all the lines, and if any of these lines is having an error, program will stop. We have to correct that error. Then again it will start reading from the first line. Fine. Well, generally it's a time-taking process. That's why it is not used for long programs. So it was all about the computer languages and the translator programs. Fine. If in case you have any doubt or any query, you can comment down all your doubts and queries in the comment section, and you will get all your answers through the comment box only. Fine. Till then, you can just simply keep learning. Stay safe, stay healthy, keep supporting us, and thanks for watching these videos.